Hello everyone, I'm Tommy, I'm here with Danny, and we're here in the Red Centre, Central Australia, and we're reaching out to all the champions, the Be My Guest champions who have come to visit us here at the Earth Sanctuary over the years, and to those who are about to. We're kind of missing them here. It's a pretty unprecedented time on the planet, Danny, and we're out tonight. We're looking at the stars.
We are, Tommy. So what we're going to do is going to run through a little program with you guys. We might get a fire started, Tommy, and then maybe cook a damper. We might run through a couple of questions just to keep everyone fulfilled while you're sitting there at home before you get here to the beautiful Red Centre. How about we start?
Sounds good. We've got 100 acres, a lot of space to cover, and so let's go check it out.
Yeah, beauty. Let's go. Rightio. So where are we going now, Tommy?
We're just near the Earth Sanctuary Homestead. We're in the big, beautiful entertainment centre here, and we're going to the fire. The fire is what it's all about at the Earth Sanctuary. We love getting around the fire. Sometimes we cook a few things, don't we, Danny?
It's a very good idea, Tommy. So we're going to do that as well. As you can see, we've got a few things fired up for us all. Tommy's just got a beautiful damper table there ready for everyone to have a crack. And we're going to do some cooking for you. You'll find, Tommy, just behind you, there's a bit of a flamethrower. We'd love to rub two sticks together, but
we don't have time.
We just don't have time. Normally we would, of course.
There's no time in the Outback?
No, there's no time in the Outback. And the fire is an essential part of every one of our programs. Why is that, Tommy?
Well, Danny, for thousands of years, locals have been using these to get fire going.
Thousands of years, that's right, exactly right.
We're gonna try a bit of a classic damper tonight. It's something that we're very fond of at the Earth Sanctuary. We love getting around the fire, telling a story or two, and making some damper. We're on a big property. We have been trying to self-isolate here, but we've been doing it for 20 years. So they talked about self-isolation, but on 100 acres, I think it's about 5-6 people here per 100 acres, so we've got a bit of space already.
In fact, we don't know if there's anyone living down there, do we? At the end of the property, I'm not too sure. There's probably some people down there. Before we go any further, Tommy, could you do me a favour and maybe grab a didgeridoo? We love playing a little bit of didge for everyone who comes from overseas or even interstate. It's a quintessential sound that we believe that we love to hear, and it's also with great respect to the Aranda mob who call this place home, and they have been doing for thousands of years. And look, to hear this beautiful sound is phenomenal. So I'll just keep quiet for a while Tommy gives some beautiful There we go. There's always a comedian in the house. Fantastic. Anyway, let's move to the next subject. Food, Tommy. How important is cooking around this fire? It's something that obviously European culture and Indigenous culture did extremely well. But did you know that probably unsung heroes, to be quite fair to say, is that the Aboriginal people are probably the first culture to actually make bread. So we're going to go and jump up to the damper table now, where Tommy's going to do a magnificent damper for everyone. There's lots of different ways that you can cook damper, of course. We love to mix a little bit of beer with it. What sort of beer do we tend to use, Tommy, with our dampers?
Well, Danny, we've searched far and wide for the right type of beer, and there's a little tree around here called the Quandong tree, and these, believe it or not, grow naturally in the Outback. And when we came across them, we thought there's nothing that could possibly be better to add to a damper. What are these made with, Danny?
Let me just say, here at Earth Sanctuary, we are not into shameless advertising. This is, of course, a beer that we make here at the Sanctuary, but the Red Centre Devil is beautiful. Tommy, the fruit that goes into the Red Centre Devil, let's just show that again.
These are loaded with Quandong, which is a native peach, full of vitamin C, and we're a health-focused organisation. It's about the vitamin C. That's what we take the most pride in. There's also ethanol in it, Danny.
There is a bit, but let's just get back to it's technically a health drink. So we're just going to keep going. So making a damper is so easy, and we want every one of our guests to hopefully go home after visiting the Sanctuary making the damper. We use self-raising flour, and of course, Tom, the Aboriginal people didn't have access to self-raising flour. What would they have used?
No, Danny, I believe the native millet or a hard seed, they might go out there and get a wattle seed and grind it down, and it'll take hours and hours, 6 hours. So unfortunately, we ran out of time again today, so we had to sneak down in an isolating way to the local Woolworths shopping centre, and we found a little bit of homegrown stuff ourselves. So we're going to add about 500 grams of this to our little bowl over here, also found naturally in the bush. It's amazing what you can find out here.
Is amazing. So here we go, you beauty. And of course, whatever drink you've got around, we're obviously using a beer. So we just use obviously the same consistency with your flour to the quantity of liquid that you're using.
Danny, obviously sometimes we have kids here. Would there be any difference?
Look, of course, there's a difference when we've got kids here. As our dad would say, he's very cautious around the young ones when they're around. So we'd probably just use a vodka or just a straight Jim Beam.
Something simple.
Yeah, something simple, just to make it a little easier for everyone. And of course, here we go. Tommy's now gone back to his great skills.
Roots.
He's gone back to his roots, really. He's gone back to it, and a great skill. We are the original Breville, of course. People forget that, and we'd like to try and remind people. Here you can see Tommy just kneading the flour, adding a little bit more beer, and of course in beer there's also yeast as well, which actually helps the damper rise. I know it's difficult to sometimes let go of a beer when you're out here and we're enjoying a beautiful fire like this one here. It's quite amazing, and this is how we live out here on this beautiful ancient sand dune. Tommy, while we're here, it's been a long time since the ocean's been here. Of course, this is a lovely sand dune that we're living on. We have done for almost 20 years now, but it's been a while since the tide's been out.
It's been a long time, Danny. This part of the world is truly ancient. It's something that we fell in love with when we got here. We had a little beautiful homestead, 100 acres. We had a couple of swags. We looked up at night and we saw these incredible twinkling little stars. And like so many people who come to the Outback, they look up and say, wow. And this is something that we hope you guys will get to see. You look up and often see planets and meteorite showers. In fact, there's one on tonight. We're not just saying this. We've got an observatory here. And what is it about sleeping under the stars, Danny, that made us look so much younger?
Well, look, it's quite incredible, to be quite honest. And look, we have a bunch of swags. Now, you guys, some of you may not know what a swag is. Let me just take you and remind you what a swag is. These amazing contraptions. What we sleep in out here in the Outback. Let me just pick it up for you. Oh, where are we? There we go. This is a swag, sometimes called a bedroll as well. We obviously lay these down. These are a great seat around the fire as well. We obviously sit on these, which is really quite lovely. We obviously unhook the straps when it's time to go and have a sleep, of course. But the beautiful thing about these swags, of course, is that you can lie down nice and flat. And as Tommy mentioned, you get to watch the amazing movement of the stars. And here in Central Australia, we have arguably one of the best views of the night sky on the planet. And something that Tom, myself and Dad and our older brother Benny love to do is introduce people to the southern night sky. There's a lot you can learn about the stars. Navigation being really, really important, as many of our early European explorers had to understand as they were traversing through the desert country. But Tom, they weren't the first people to obviously understand about the stars.
No, Danny. No. There were obviously the stars is something that's a bit of kind of heritage to everyone on the planet. So we kind of surf through the night sky, and you know what's most important is really the fire. Making something kind of like one of these. It's called a spotted dog, but rest assured, no animals were harmed in the process. And then getting under the stars, singing a bit of maybe Waltzing Matilda. It's a good song. You can always sing that under the stars as well. And then it's really about having a yarn. And we hear there's been some pretty unprecedented events all over the planet, and people have been hanging low in their homes, doing the right thing and sort of protecting the rest of society from this thing called COVID-19. So we trust you guys are all well out there and looking after each other, and we're fairly confident that one day, sooner or later, we're all going to get to come out again and enjoy this beautiful part of the world. And we're going to be waiting here for you guys with our damper, with our fire and our swags and these beautiful twinkling stars up there. And what's a normal day for us, Danny, here at the Earth Sanctuary?
Well, I tell you what, we're pretty much doing a normal day for us. This is whether we're just out enjoying time with our kids on this beautiful ancient sand dune. We're not quite the middle of nowhere, but sometimes if you look around, obviously we can't see any houses or properties around us, so it is quite a beautiful place to be. Whether it's making damper around a beautiful fire, as Tommy pointed out too before, we spent a lot of time under the stars. Another really important part of our night's program, which we'll share with you guys, is of course our barbecues. We love having dinner with everyone. We love having guests here on this beautiful ancient sand dune. So we really look forward to seeing the buses roll back in and seeing your smiley, happy faces. And we'll make sure there's lots of songs. You smell that beautiful aroma of barbecue. It's fantastic. It's probably part of every good family homestead. And that's something that we'd love to share with everyone, Tommy.
Absolutely, guys. The bush barbecue is really the heart and soul of our little gathering here. We love putting on a few snags and some Scotch fillet steaks and making salads and
baked potatoes.
And let's just throw a few more things out there.
Hang on, Tommy. What's for dessert?
Well, locally grown is something that's a bit of a treat here, is our beautiful sticky date pudding. And there's a little tree somewhere around here. It's not quite in bloom yet, but by the time you guys get here, it will be ready to go. And that's a bit of a treat. It's sponsored by the Health Foundation as well, Danny.
The sticky date pudding tree. You'll love it. So we can only look forward to seeing you guys when you do arrive here in the beautiful desert. We look forward to seeing your smiling faces, as we said. But from Tom and myself and our whole family here at Earth Sanctuary in Alice Springs, Northern Territory of Australia, we look forward to seeing you when you arrive.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming to say hi.
You beauty.
Be safe.
Be safe.